It is just a normal day for Sang Hyun when he is trying to get ready for work. A graceful woman asks him if he packed his lunch properly. She is his stepmother, and his father has already passed away. She is very loving and caring about Sang Hyun. Some might even think that she cares for him too much. She still thinks of him as a child. But Sang Hyun is a grown adult man in his 20s and an academic teacher. His stepmom teases him about even the smallest mistakes that he made. She wants him to dress up nicely as he is wearing the same clothes. Every day he is quite sloppy when it comes to looks. That's why the mother says he gets ignored sometimes. She even offers him to go shopping with her. But who would go clothes shopping with their mother at his age? When she gets very close to him, he sees her exposed parts and he scarcely pushes back with all the hassle being over. Sang leaves for work. As he leaves the house, she wonders if he would have listened to her if she was his birth mother. Sang Hyun is a below-average guy who is always teased by his students when he goes to work. He gets quite annoyed by the young girls talking shit about him behind his back. And he has an inferiority complex towards his childhood friend Junbam. He is jealous of his friend being a star instructor at the academy. They both became friends simply because of the fact that they both had stepmothers right from the childhood. He was the son of the chairman of the board that founded the academy, and Sang Hyun's father worked under his death, and it continued to be the same for them as they grew up. Nothing has changed. However, he is thankful to Junbam because he is the one that recommended him for the job. After wasting years and years on applying for different jobs, if Sang Hyun is considered a loser by society, then it's obvious to all that Junbam is the clear winner. Every day he enters his classroom with a low, energetic vibe, and the students cannot stop making fun of him behind his back day by day. It's getting very frustrating for Sang Hyun, just as he is trying to get himself together after a hard day, thinking that he would quit this job if he could. A beautiful woman that looked very much like his mom came over. She thought he was calling him. He was very nervous around women, so he could barely speak anything. He looked at this woman that looked older than him, but was amazingly beautiful with just the right size and figure to his taste. He couldn't stop staring at her. She asked him why he was staring, but he couldn't say much when he asked her if she was there for admission. She said yes, but the registration fee is also expensive, so she's worried. He also agreed, but couldn't say much as he himself worked for the academy. Following an awkward silence, the woman left the room, dismissing him. What a weird guy, she thought to herself. Meanwhile, Sang Hyun was ashamed of himself, of how poorly he performed in front of a beautiful woman, and he is in his late 20s and still hasn't dated anyone till now. On top of that, the woman seemed like she was married. How could he even think of trying to hit on her? It was almost night when he started to leave for home. After working late, he saw that one of his files were missing, and it must have been left in the classroom. His mom was also messaging him to hurry up back home. Even though life is hard for him, he is happy that he has good people around him and trying to convince himself to be satisfied with this life. He walks towards the classroom. When he opened the door, he heard a strange noise coming from the classroom. It was hard to believe his ears when he heard some lewd sounds from a woman. He couldn't believe the level of the kids these days doing a trillionite inside the classroom. But wait a minute, it doesn't sound like a student's voice. He pushed the door a little bit more to take a peek. It sounded like people who were older than students. When he took a closer look, he couldn't believe it. It was Junbam with the woman that he met outside just a while ago. His eyes couldn't stop looking at what these two were about to do. It was so embarrassing. That woman that looks like his mom, she was on her knees, facing his waist and agreeing to everything he ordered her to do when she could turn away. He teased her about how she hadn't seen one this big before. Is this not what you wanted? Come on, don't waste my time anymore. The woman submissively agreed to his every desire. Sang Hyun couldn't figure out how this was happening. The eyes of that woman started to get more and more relaxed and desperate as she kept on getting the taste of Junbam's love. Junbam complimented her on how good she was with her mouth, and asked if she did that with her husband too. He hands down a packet of contraceptive and tells her to put it on him with her mouth. She says, "You will really do what you promised, right?" Junbam said he didn't like to repeat himself, so hurry up. Sanghyun was enraged about what he had promised her to do. Such things, and eventually, right in front of his eyes, they started doing the hot deed. The woman was being embarrassed by Junbam again and again about how he liked his stuff better than her husband's, although trying to act honest in the beginning. The woman also started to moan and pleasure admitting how much she preferred his stuff better. It didn't take much time for her to start acting shameless and begging Junbam for more. While all of this was going on inside, Sang Hyun made a sound on the door which alerted Junbam of somebody's presence. He stopped his motion and pulled the woman to the door. He pressed her right up on the door and started having fun right there behind the door. How Sang Hyun was terrified. He could hear each and every bang from the door right in front of him. Just then his phone rang. What a terrible time for a call. He quickly shut down his phone and ran away, hoping nobody would hear him. However, Junbam had already noticed Sang Hyun went outside and checked his phone. It was his mother calling him. She wanted to know why he was late, but Sang Hyun shouted at her, telling her that he was not a kid anymore. Although he shouted because of the pressure of the moment, he doesn't want to upset his mom, so he went home right away. His mother was worried about him due to his bad mood, but Sang Hyun assured her that everything was okay. He couldn't get the thought of the scene earlier out of his head and rushed upstairs to his room. The love-making image was stuck in his brain. Furthermore, he was jealous of his friend for getting such beautiful women. A ring came from his phone. It was Junbam. He was concerned whether to answer the call or not, but he did anyways. Junbam immediately confronted him about him watching earlier. He didn't think that he was seen, but nothing could hide from his childhood. Friend Junbam called him outside in the playground to have a talk. Instead of shaming him for watching, Junbam told him to never talk about this to others and also asked him if he liked what he saw earlier. Was that woman your type? He offered to teach him everything about how to get a married woman in bed. With his friend's advice, he went to see his first target. Her name was Choi Yoo-jung. Aged between early mid-30s, she got married right away after graduating from beauty college. -1 year ago, it has been 3 years since she opened the hair salon. But his place doesn't get many clients, only a few regulars from time to time. The most important thing is her husband was overseas for a long time. Now Sang Hyun was in her salon with this intent, but was also very nervous for his first time attempting something like this. Junbam had told him to act like you are in love with her, so first he asked to get a haircut that women would like these days. She asked if there was someone special that he liked. So he answered yes, she looks quite a bit like you. She was happy to hear that and gave her a nice haircut. She even went out of her way to help him get this imaginary girl, and offered to help him buy clothes to help with his relationship as instructed from his friend. After acting like friends for some time, he told her one day that he would confess to this non-existing girl. This made Yoojin think about him all day and wonder if he did well. Later, Sang Hyun came in from outside where it was raining and acted like he was very upset. He told her that it didn't work out as planned, and that he was pathetic. The woman Yoojin felt very sorry for him. Offering him care and affection seemed like the plan was working for him. He acted like he was leaving, but she stopped her and offered him to take rest for a while in the shower. Sang Hyun was nervously excited how well the plan was going. Could he really do this? He slaps himself to calm down and go with the flow. He had to act like a pitiful man who was heartbroken. Right then, Yujin came inside the bathroom, wondering if she could help him. To his surprise, she hugged him from behind and asked him with a soothing voice, "Didn't you say that I looked similar to the girl you like since you worked so hard? And still got dumped. I don't know how I can comfort you." Damn, Sang Hyun couldn't believe how well the plan had worked. He told her that she was much prettier than that woman. Such honest compliments made Yu Jung blush and came closer to wash him, and couldn't help wonder how long it had been since she slept with someone while staring right into Sang Hyun's manhood. She touched it and started the magic with her hands. Sang Hyun started to feel really good and got excited. Very soon, Sang Hyun told her to move this upstairs. She teased him, saying that she was married. "And do you want to do it with a married woman?" He went on with the plan of acting like being in love with her, and it didn't take much time for them to move the deeds up to the bedroom.